This just in, we just found out that Jonathan Majors has lost a sizable portion of his upcoming films. So it's huge news. Welcome to the King's Advisors. We are here to talk about these these allegations that are against him and how it's affecting his entire life. So,
Yeah,
Caleb, what do you
exactly,
think about
Dan.
this?
So yeah, I kind of made a short earlier this about a month and a half ago, kind of making a joke about this because I didn't think for a second anything would actually come of what happened. There was too much evidence to show that uh, he hadn't actually done anything wrong, that she had recanted any sort of violence, that it had all been done to make sure that she was safe, and the amount of
Yeah, you said it,
craziness,
man.
yeah, the
Yeah.
amount of craziness, it feels like all the walls are coming in to crush Jonathan Majors. It looks like the mobilization of some sort of monster. And it's crazy because there's nothing other than the arrest that makes him look bad about this at all. And we discussed it a while back, but let me pull this up. This is a uh, this is from the law offices of Scott J. Limer. He's an attorney in New York, and he does domestic violence stuff. And usually on attorneys' websites, you'll find these articles that kind of explain the law in the area that you're in. And what that means is if the police show up to a domestic violence call, they will leave and they have probable cause to believe violence took place. They will leave with somebody in handcuffs. Dan, I'm sure you want to explain what probable cause means.
Well, it's in most situations, it's a reasonable belief that there's been a crime has been committed. So you kind of have a little bit more press against the Fourth Amendment issues that are at play here because we have a every state has the whole nation has a constitutional right to unreasonable search and seizures. Now, different states interpret that differently for their state law, which is applied differently, but it is applied to the 14th Amendment. So it's important to remember that these laws, although enacted, might be different in different places. So here they've chosen to believe that even a matter of a call is a call for potential domestic violence. So think about that. So a potentially anonymous call for domestic violence is the probable cause because
Yeah.
they
So
get
if they were to show up, so in this case, I believe the arrest took place at the hospital because I believe he drove her to the hospital to seek medical attention, and that's where she, I believe, said the whole "I've been attacked by him" thing, and then everything came out. She said, "No, no, 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 sorry, he didn't attack me. I was mistaken. It was all for my safety. I was." She was basically having a manic episode, and he plus or minus basically held her down in the car to keep her from hurting herself and escaping.
well, allegedly.
Yes, allegedly, yes. Yeah,
Allegedly. I'm not, to be candid with you, I'm not sure if they even are pressing charges as the state
well,
pressing
and
charges.
that's
I
the
know,
thing. That's
I
what
think the
makes this
arrest was
so
the
crazy.
limit of it that. Like it's not even a
Exactly.
trial. Yeah.
That's why this is so crazy because you have a mandatory arrest, something that the law says the police must do no matter what, unless when they show up, there's no probable cause.
And the probable cause here, it also says to believe you committed an act of domestic violence, which, like, you know, I guess that's physical evidence. You know what I mean? Like they have to see some
Yeah,
form of
so
violence that
yeah,
happens, or
so it
like
could be
I
something
guess her
like
being in the hospital is evidence of that.
yeah, so it could be something like physical damage. Perhaps if the call mentions something about, let's say, I saw him throw a beer bottle at her or something. Let's say it was a third party calling. Then if they show up and they see broken beer bottles, that might be enough to be probable cause. Of course, it depends on the
Or
state
if they're
and all that
belligerently
kind of stuff.
drunk and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
Yes.
lot of stuff. Yeah.
So it's that's what's so crazy about this. That okay, there was probable cause for an arrest, but that does not mean he's guilty of domestic violence.
Well,
And the
this is
fact
this.
that, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Oh no, not to cut you off. This is just a consequence of consequence culture. Like
Yeah,
this is like exactly what we've. This is the law that's been enacted to protect people, vulnerable people.
mhm.
So it gets into these situations where how is it? It's unbelievable, really.
Absolutely. And before we go any further, I do want to state that if you feel like you're in this sort of situation, you should absolutely call the police and absolutely
Absolutely.
get out of that situation, because there is no good that can come of staying in that sort of situation. But what's crazy is that laws that are made to protect these victims actually seem to do more damage than they do good, at least where the media is concerned. The stuff that we are told about, it always seems like the law
Well,
is the thing that messed up here.
before I heard this today, I thought it already kind of died out of the news already. I was like,
Exactly.
all right, well,
And what's crazy is what we're hearing is, so from this is from Deadline Hollywood today, almost 2.5 hours after we're recording this, before we recorded this, uh, that Jonathan Majors has been dropped from a slew of projects we hear on good authority, including Protagonist Pictures' feature adaptation of the Walter Mosley novel The Man in the Basement. He was also dropped from a ad campaign for the Texas Rangers, an MLB team, obviously out of Texas. And this says an unannounced Fifth Estate Otis Redding biopic. He's also been dropped from his agent.
his talent agency.
His talent agency has dropped him, which seems absolutely ridiculous to me. It seems like like I said earlier, it seems like
Unless
all the powers that be are doing everything to ruin this man who a month ago was being touted as the next big thing in the largest film company on the planet.
it's truly incredible to witness the power of the wave. Like you see it rise and you see it fall, and time again, it can happen. And each time is just as memorizing as the last. And sometimes the waves are bigger, like this, and you just think to yourself, "Oh my goodness, it can just happen like that." I mean, think this guy basically was fired forever. Like he can't even quit and go to the next job. I mean, I guess he can. I don't know. Maybe he gets out of Hollywood, and this is viewed as a good thing, and he goes and does a trade, or he has something where he's humbled or something. I don't know the gentleman's
Well, and what's
background, but
crazy is it's not his fault. It's the fault of the machine that is terrified of backing someone that's accused of something. It's almost the exact opposite of the NFL. The NFL, has all these players that are constantly accused of things. They throw them on the suspension list for 11 weeks, and then off for you. Let's go suit up. It's
yeah,
ridiculous. You've got someone who everyone on his side, the supposed victim, everyone is saying, no, 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 he didn't do this. And then you've got Amber Heard who's still employed by Warner. So
yeah, maybe he should go get a job at Warner.
maybe he should have stuck to Warner. Maybe they wouldn't have fired him.
I don't know if Warner wants to pick that kind of battle. I mean, it doesn't look good. I'll be honest with you. Like
Yeah, I mean
those
we can
text
see
messages from
here.
the lawyer didn't look good.
Yeah,
Like
we can see
I guess
here that
the video probably didn't look good.
yeah, he's already had multiple credits dropped from his upcoming actor list. I remember when I was first looking at this a couple months ago. I feel like there were 10 things on this list, and now there's 4. Now, some of those things can just be that they've been the project's been shelved or canceled, and that's why
Gee,
they're
is
no
that
longer
really
on
a
there.
name of a movie, The Kang Dynasty?
Yeah, it's King. He's King. You know who King is, right?
Of course.
Okay,
It's just a
okay.
very funny name.
We
It's
were
a
going
very
to be
funny name
discussing
for a
that off
movie.
camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. God.
it's just upsetting. It's sad to see, as lawyers, the law is very important to us, and to see the law used in such a negative constant here is very disappointing.
Well, you speak for yourself. I'd rather make a point of it saying that it is a double-edged sword. As quickly as it falls one way, it can come back the other way very hard on you. And it's a powerful beast that really shouldn't be played with. It's incredible what our society has done to something that can be so swiftly judgmental. Like it's it's a powerful, powerful thing. And when you demand legislatures change the law, these are the consequences of it. This is no other consequence than people saying that there should be more protection by the government.
Yeah, no, it's
So,
I say I kind of feel like we're saying the same thing here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there's been quite a couple things that I've watched of Jonathan Majors that I've really enjoyed, and on my part, from looking at the evidence, I don't. I think this is the dumbest news, not news, that I've seen in months, and I honestly just kind of hope it goes away and everything gets better for him. Um, but yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I think that's well said, Caleb.
thank you. So yeah, that's all we have on Jonathan Majors. Hopefully, we get some good news in the future. But other than that, he's Dan. I'm Caleb. Like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter at KingsAdvisors _.
Let's do the thing. Thanks a bunch, everybody.